Alright, so this is a project I've been working on for a while now. This is the Gotham City that I've built. Since about April of this year, I've been working on Batman Slaughter Swamp, and I need a set for that film. What I've been doing is, ever since about May, I've been building this set, and you can see some older versions of the set that I have that I'm showing right now. It originally started as Central City for The Flash. I reused that set for Wonder Woman Truth, Honor, and Morals for parts of it, but I just built a new hospital area and a couple other things, like a train station. So now it's evolved into being more of Gotham City, and I have a couple other locations here. The main building you can see here is the Iceberg Lounge. I have used a little bit of concept art for this build, for the back half, which is just these two buildings of being the Iceberg Lounge and then kind of the Daily Planet there, but it's not supposed to be the Daily Planet, it's just supposed to be some generic skyscraper. I'm just using my build from the Daily Planet as that right now. I'm going to reuse it for Superman later on, so I gotta have that. So yeah, what I essentially did to it to kind of make it Gotham-y is I added a gargoyle to it. So this isn't the first Gotham City I've built. I've had a couple other designs for Gotham City, much smaller though. The first one I had was just a little city block from 2020 when I filmed Batman vs Superman, the Men of Justice. The other one I believe was for Nightwing, I think, is when I made that one. For this project though, I've had to get a lot of parts. I got a listing, or a couple different listings for Lego, where I got 40 pounds for $80, and that has greatly helped. You can see how much of a mess I made with all the parts that I had. It took a while to sort all that too, and then it's good now. You can see the older version of Gotham I have here. I'll let you just look at that. I had a good amount of fun building this though so far, because I had my little chihuahua that I just got on there. But yeah, now you can see how big the new version of Gotham City is I've built. It's like 2 or 3 blocks worth of space that I've dedicated to Gotham now. So it's a huge set that's going to be very useful for Batman Slaughter Swamp. Even though most of it is going to be in, well, Slaughter Swamp, but there will be a lot of shots, or maybe not a lot, but a good chunk of shots shot in Gotham. Something very important to the plot of the film is the monorails a little bit. It's not like the biggest plot point, but it's like a small little plot point. So I had to build this monorail station right here. It's probably like it's not a very intricate build, but you know, it gets the job done. I'm more proud of the actual monorail itself. It actually does move along the track very nicely. It's not on a motor or anything, but you know, it's just a little sliding thing that I could just use for filming. Then you see the Iceberg Lounge again. Originally, I didn't have as much going on with that, and then I added some, like, I tried to make it look gothic on the side there, as you can see. And then I got some crates coming out. That's going to be important to the film with all those crates right there. And then I just got Batman floating up there, because I was just having a little fun with that. I got a guy on a motorcycle jumping off the building. I was just having fun there. It's not important at all. And then there's the gargoyle again. And then I made this little scene of Riddler getting arrested, but that's not relevant at all to the film I'm making at all. But, you know, just show off a little bit of the space I got. And then I put this little sticker up for Bleecker Street just to add a little bit of detail. And I put the building over here. It's not really a specific building, but it helps support the monorail station. It's very smooth across that track, so that's good. I originally made this Wayne building. I'm not quite sure if I want to keep it the Wayne building, because I'm going to use it for Carmine Falcone's little den here, his little hideout. Yeah, I try to make it look very gothic with all the architecture here. And then I have some nice little railings on the side there for Carmine. But as you can see, all the gothic architecture, I try to get all that glass in there, try to make it look all, you know, expensive. And then over here we got like an open sewer, which is going to be important to Slaughter Swamp. There's a very dramatic thing that happens over here in the sewer. You got the nice little grates in there, tried to make that look a little fun, and then you got the actual open sewer right there. You got some railings on the side there. It's pretty cool. And I got Ace Chemicals. This one isn't complete yet because I have a sticker coming in for the actual plate right there. Just a custom sticker I'm going to put on there for the Ace Chemicals sign. You see some like signs telling you not to come in here. And a nice fence build I made too. And then here's the actual interior of that Wayne building that I built. For none of this is going to really get used besides the top, but this is the first level. It's got a little table on there. And then right here we have a second level. This is really not going to get used at all. This is just, I made this part for fun just to fill it out a little bit so it's not boring in there, and just kind of do something with it because I built it. But it's really just for making it more imposing, just kind of building it up a little bit instead of just having 2 floors, and it's just kind of like, okay, that's not very intimidating. And then here's the third floor. This is Carmine Falcone's actual pen here. So got like this glass case right here and little table right there with some lightsaber hilts, and I think that looks cool. It has like some legs. Then we got like a little table over there with like a green drink right there with some cash on the table. Yeah, not like the most detailed interior, but it gets the job done for what I'm gonna need it to do. The big part of this is the windows. The windows I really like about this part of the building. I do like seeing Carmine Falcone looking out the window right there, or Falcone, however way you want to say it. But I do like looking at that. And then here it is again with the Gothic architecture. I tried to create those curves and the sharpness of kind of Gothic cathedral architecture here. You could tell me how good of a job I did, but pretty happy with the top there. It looks pretty cool. There's like a back piece of architecture too, right there. Looks pretty cool. And then the next part I'll show you is the inside of the Iceberg lounge. Here's this private lounge area. I made a nice little chandelier up here. I had a bunch of lightsaber parts I had to get rid of. So I'm like, alright, let me see what I can make with this. And I decided, you know what, this would make a good chandelier. So I put that up there. Originally it wasn't up there. But you see some fish right there. You see penguin with some woman right there. You know, they're watching a guy get beat up. Jerry Seinfeld minifigure. You get the general point across. This is like Penguin's private lounge, trying to get that luxury feel with the red and the white up there. You can see like some stairs going up to a door, and that's where you can kind of look down on the lounge, and Penguin can get back to the main part of the Iceberg lounge up there. And then we got the Batcave. The Batcave, I wanted to go for something more compact. A lot of the times in the past I've gone more wide with the Batcave when I'm filming for it. So I wanted to go with something more compact here. So I got like a lot of computers here, and it kind of has those stairs leading up. But I made sure to put a lot of computers. I want a lot of computers for this Batman, and I always like Batcomputer with all these sprees of computers, just all these things that Batman's looking at. And then I got this little side table with a couple things. This little photo thing here is from Harry Potter, but it's going to represent Bruce with his family. And then we have a couple of newspapers here, a Kneel Before Zod paper, which is going to be relevant later. But then we have some like computers on the railing there. It's going to be a little hologram area. Batmobile. I wanted something a bit more compact, but similar to like Arkham Asylum's Batmobile, kind of smaller and not long. But we got a couple suits over here. We got Batman's suit, of course, and then we got like a ninja suit referencing like Batman's time in Asia when he's training. Then when you go up the stairs here, there's a little computer right there too. My Batman's gonna be all about his little computers, and it's gonna be all about those little computer gadgets and gizmos. Everything. He's gonna be looking at everything in Gotham. And then I've also been experimenting with lip animation, as you can see here though. This isn't Batman's lips though. Lately, I've been trying to take steps to what I believe is higher quality animation for me, even though my animation's never been that high quality, but I've been trying to make some strides to get a little bit more of what I've always wanted. Over here is the Slaughter Swamp set. It's not finished yet, but I do have most of it set up. I have a few things I need to actually get done, like I need to put the lake in, and then a couple other little details need to be put in here, so it's not quite done. I might make a video of the making of Slaughter Swamp eventually. So we'll see about that. Main inspirations for this mock so far are Batman Arkham City with the monorail stations all around Arkham City. That's a huge point of inspiration. And then something I did want to do, but I just don't have the parts for, is I wanted to do more of a Lego Batman 2 style Ace Chemicals, but I can't do that. I don't have enough of those like huge green parts where I could do like the buckets like leaking the acid and stuff. So yeah, I just can't do that because I don't have that. So yeah, the Iceberg Lounge, I wanted more of the kind of that iceberg kind of aspect of it highlighted with the silhouette there. So I have that like umbrella in front of an iceberg there, and then the building is white. I thought that would be a good combination of everything, and has a little classic design to it. And it feels like an old gangster nightclub, because that's a big inspiration for Slaughter Swamp, is kind of those old gangster flick mixed with some monster flicks, like those old black and white monster flicks, which is why I'm going to be going with black and white currently for Slaughter Swamp, but it's going to be a color palette of black, white, and green, so I think it'll be a really unique look for the movie. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say. Those are the main inspirations for this, and yeah.